Hey, what's going on everyone out there in YouTube land? So today we're going to cater to the lower wattage vapor once again. We're going to have a look at a lower wattage tank. This one coming from Sense, and this is the Blazer Nano. There it is sitting on top the Aspire NX75, which I think is a beautiful pairing. And I will actually be giving away this setup right here along with another setup later on in the video, so make sure you guys pay attention. At the moment, vaping on the 1.2 ohm coil. Yes, I haven't vaped that high in probably years. 1.2 ohms, 40 watts, got some Cloud Chemist loaded up. Let's have a vape. Delicious, delicious vape. You know, ever since I started doing these videos catering to the lower wattage vapors and the beginners out there, I'm really starting to appreciate lower wattage vaping. You know, I'm usually 80 or 100 watts and I never really touch anything that's lower wattage, but the past couple weeks doing these kind of lower wattage videos has really made me appreciate the lower wattage stuff. This 40 watts, man, very, very satisfying. So the Blazer Nano was sent over directly by Sense for the purpose of this review. If you guys are interested in checking one out or picking one up after the video, I will have links as always posted in the description. Currently at the moment, the going price for the Nano, we're looking at $24.95. And the coil heads, replacement coil heads, run roughly around $12.95 for a 5-pack. So if you guys are familiar with the Blazer line of tanks from Sense, they're actually some pretty awesome tanks. The Blazer 200, which is a high wattage tank, love that tank, one of my favorite high wattage tanks. Then you got the Blazer Mini, which is a little bit smaller, but still a higher wattage tank. And now they have the Nano, which is catering to the higher resistance, lower wattage vapors out there. And let me tell you, the Blazers, man, Sense actually did a really good job on these tanks. So, yeah, I'm not going to give it away quite yet. Let's talk more about it after the up close. So with all that said, why don't we dive down? Let's get up close and personal with the Nano. Having a look at the packaging for the Blazer Nano. Comes in the typical Sense Blazer packaging, just like the full-size Blazer and the Blazer Mini. Now, one thing I did notice on the back, if you'll see there, it says Blazer Nano sub-ohm tank. Technically, this is not a sub-ohm tank because they don't offer sub-ohm coil heads. All the coil heads are above 1 ohm, so therefore, it's not really a sub-ohm tank. It's just the Blazer Nano tank. But there's the presentation box. Inside the box, you'll receive the Blazer Nano with a coil head already pre-installed. They'll also include a second coil head, spare glass tank, and a bag of O-rings. Now the new Nano is available in a few different color options, and I'll throw those up on the screen for you guys. Dimensions, we're looking at 22.8 millimeters in diameter, from the bottom to the top of the drip tip, 40 millimeters tall. It does include a standard 510 Delrin drip tip. So therefore, you can use your own standard 510 drip tips. Here's an old school stainless steel drip tip I have. And as you can see, it does fit. Now we do have top fill on the new Nano. And we have two different top fill options. The first option, if you look at the top right there, you'll see two holes and a little lock symbol. If you turn the cap, it will expose two holes. One will be a fill hole and the other will be a release valve. So if you have a small tipped bottle, you can actually use this method, which is much, much easier, and then turn it to close it off. Or if you prefer to pour your liquid directly in it, all you need to do is just unscrew the top cap, and then you can fill the tank along the sides, and the O-ring is big enough to where the glass is not going to pop off. We have a 2 ml tank capacity on the Nano. Below that, we have dual airflow control. The airflow slots measure 13 millimeter by 1.5 millimeter each. And of course, you can open it wide open or close it off for a more mouth-to-lung vape. We do have stopping points on the airflow control ring, so that way it is much easier to remove the base. And then at the bottom we have a copper-plated, non-adjustable, fixed 510 pin. Let's have a look at the provided coils. Now, because there's such a big O-ring at the bottom, unscrewing the bottom can be a little harder than usual, so I recommend actually unscrewing the top cap and then just popping out the bottom like so. There's going to be the large O-ring, and the coil heads they include are actually fairly high in resistance. They're going to include a 1.2 ohm coil rated for 15 to 40 watts and a 1.8 ohm coil rated for 15 to 40 watts also. Having a closer look at the coil heads, you'll see it has it on there 15 to 40 watts. This will be the 1.2 ohm, and then this one will be the 1.8. And these coil heads are actually fairly small. They are using Japanese organic cotton. I'm not sure if they're using stainless steel wire or if they're using Kanthal. And I do not have any other coil heads available to test in the Nano to see if it works with any other coil heads, but if I find out any other coil heads do work, I will list them in the description. So here's the one that I've been using, and like I said, you can either use the fill ports at the top or you can unscrew the tank. Now, depending on the type of bottle you have, and if you're able to fit it in here, I've noticed that sometimes you might actually have to remove the drip tip, and you can either fill it through this little hole or through the larger hole. It doesn't really matter, but I'm going to actually fill it through the smaller hole because that tip fits perfectly inside there. And as you can see there, fills up really, really easy with no leaking. And then once you're done filling it, just go ahead and close it off, and you're ready to vape. So that's pretty much going to be it, guys, for the up close and personal. Let's jump back up and let's have a vape. So when I got this tank and I looked at the coil heads, I'm like 1.2, 1.8 ohm. I'm like, holy hell. I didn't think I was going to like it at all. I have not vaped resistance above 1 ohm in probably a few years, but installing the 1.2 and the 1.8, these actually perform really, really well. And because they're lower wattage coils, battery life on these devices, these single 18650 devices, is really, really good. So once again, I'm starting to really appreciate the lower wattage stuff. This is a great tank for someone new to vaping or just getting into vaping and don't want to get into the higher wattage stuff. And it's also good for a veteran, someone who's experienced and, you know, looking for something a little bit more calmer for a more relaxing normal vape, or maybe you want to bump up your nicotine level to a 6. If you're on 3, bump it up to a 6, and you could probably get a really good vape. But even at 3 milligrams, I've been vaping this strictly at 3 milligrams. I do chain vape a little bit more because of the higher resistance, but still, it's a really satisfying vape, and it puts out really good flavor. And I think it's a great addition to the Blazer line. Now, some people might say, well, why don't they offer lower resistance coil heads? Well, they do. They have the Blazer 200 and the Blazer Mini. The Blazer Nano is more suited for, once again, lower wattage people out there. So let's go through some of the pros and cons on the Nano. We'll start off with the pros as usual. Pro number 1, the flavor and vapor production. Very, very good for being what it is, a higher resistance tank. 40 watts, really good flavor, and the vapor production at 40 watts, it actually puts out decent clouds. You're not going to cloud up a room, but still, for the wattage, for the resistance, it's actually a really, really good vape. So thumbs up for the overall vape experience. The next pro, high resistance coils for lower wattage vaping. I don't think, how many higher resistance coils do we have out there? There's not many. Everything is sub-ohm now. Sub-ohm, 0.2, 0.15, 0.3. There's not very many choices above 1 ohm. So here we have 1.2, 1.8 for someone who enjoys, you know, lower wattage and better battery life off their devices. So I do give a thumbs up to Sense for doing that. For the next pro, we got 2 easy top fill options. We can just turn the cap, and if your bottle allows you to, if you have a small little tip on the bottle, you could just pop it right there in the hole, or you could unscrew the top cap and just fill it up, you know, along the sides of the tank. So I do give it a thumbs up for the 2 top fill options. The next pro is that it comes in a few different color options. We got the stainless, we got blue, heat treated rainbow, we got gold, and I think there was one more I forgot. But yeah, we have color options finally. So we're stepping away from the only stainless steel and only black, and these companies are starting to listen, and they're starting to put out more colorful tanks and colorful devices. Thumbs up for that. The next pro, it uses a standard 510 drip tip. I'm glad they didn't put like a low profile goon style tip on a tank like this that's, you know, rated at 1.2 ohms. Perfect size tip, and you can remove it and use your own standard 510 drip tips. Like I showed you guys that old school stainless steel tip on there. The old school tips actually work really well on here because of the higher resistance. So I'm glad they actually put a small tip for the small tank. Thumbs up for that. And the last pro, you can actually do a direct lung inhale with the airflow wide open, or you can pretty much completely close off the airflow. Just leave it open that much, and you can do a nice mouth to lung vape. I've been doing strictly direct lung, and it is restricted, of course, because of the airflow, but it's not that restricted to where it's uncomfortable. So you do have 2 different options when vaping this tank. That's pretty much going to be it for the pros, and as far as the cons are concerned, I have one con. And, I mean, it's kind of obvious with the name, the Nano, but it's only a 2 ml tank. So it is quite small. You don't burn through liquid all that much because, once again, higher resistance, lower wattage, but still, it would have been nice to maybe get 3 out of it. But yeah, it's a tiny little tank. If I put it next to the Sense, this is the RTA. I forget, which RTA is this? I forgot. The RTA 2, I believe. Just look how tiny this thing is. Let's put it right there. There we go. It is a tiny little tank. Real tiny. So, yeah, small tank, small capacity. I guess I can complain about something. But other than that, that's pretty much going to be it for the cons, guys. So at the end of the day, if you're looking for a higher resistance, lower wattage tank, something for a new vapor or someone who just looking for something a little bit more relaxing and kind of steps away from the sub-ohm thing, I think this is a really good choice. Paired up with a nice single 18650 device, like this Aspire one right here, it's actually a nice, satisfying vape. Once again, links for everything posted in the description. So let's talk about the giveaway. In the giveaway, we're going to give away, what are we going to give away? Let's give away the Aspire, what did I call this? The NX75, which is a really awesome device. I did a review on it a while ago. Check out the review if you're interested. Along with that, we're going to give you guys 1 winner on this one. Did I mention that? No. 1 winner. We're going to do a pack of coil heads. We're going to do another device. Now, this is one I reviewed a while ago. Very simple device, which is good for, once again, a beginner or someone who's still somewhat new. This is, what is this called? The Storm 100. Very simple, actually a pretty decent device for what it is, and I think it pairs up well with the Nano. So we're going to do this along with a second tank. So pretty much you're going to get 2 devices, 2 tanks, and a pack of coil heads. And that's it. Yeah, what you got to do, make sure you're a subscriber. Comment below. In the comment section, let me know what your preferred resistance is. What do you like? Do you like a 1.2? 0.5? Do you like 0.1? What resistance is your ideal resistance? Like the video. Once we hit 500 likes, we will take everyone's name that commented below, throw it into a randomizer, choose 1 lucky winner for these 2 devices, 2 tanks, and the pack of coils. All right? So that's pretty much going to be it, guys. That's all I got for you today. If you have any comments or questions on the Nano, leave them below. Right down there. Yes, leave them down there. What else? I kind of threw myself off. But, yeah. Please like, share, subscribe. We did that. Comment below. Good luck on the giveaway. I'll talk to everyone very, very soon. Make sure you guys build safe and vape on.